On everybody, this is David Mitchell here, and
And
welcome.
Belly Poo in the background. I'm not even included. I'm just having fun. Just to let you know.
And welcome to Fan to Train 191
Thank you, David.
or 191.
Oh, you're
And
nine more to go.
yep, till 200. But
David, don't repeat your live stream again when they're disrupted.
you're a big bum. But we're getting ready for a dual live stream. We got Dimitri on his end and getting ready to start his live stream. So we're getting ready to start, and if y'all can guess from the title of the live stream, boy oh boy oh boy, we got a commotion. Oh, Vel, where are your baby wipes? I gotta clean something.
What happened my day?
I gotta clean something. I spotted at a greasy. Yeah.
Right here, Day.
Thank you.
Go ahead and
But boy oh boy, some of the stuff we got to talk about, it's real crazy. There we go. That look better. Ew. Talk about them. But yeah, we're just waiting on Dimitri to start on his end. Yeah. Yeah, that cool. Wake up new. Oh, that nice. Oh. Can't even hear him. Cannot even hear him. Yep. Minor tree got it for me. But did Vel Gimbal. For people who don't know me, Vel both got Gimbals.
David, you're the reason why I'm not having another impulse.
But well, they work on up on their end. We got crazy stuff going on with CSX. With them finally opening up that tunnel in Baltimore. And also, so when I say it,
alright,
there we
again.
go.
It always has to happen again. Okay, let's get this started. Alrighty.
There,
Let's get
Dimitri.
the show on the road. How about this for everybody? It's the most chaotic day on Japanese public transit.
I've seen the video.
Peaceful, quiet, not too chaotic, right? How about the most peaceful day on American public transit?
I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, come on, it's gotta be fun, right? Alright, there we go. Oh, man. Well, welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard to this. Well, we're getting into October soon, so it's, the music's getting a little appropriate, right? There we go.
Oktoberfest.
The only way to survive on American public transit, folks. Alrighty, okay, alright. Welcome aboard, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. How's it going? Okay, looks like we got people lost on Discord here. Discord can't seem to figure itself out every single time. Discord, come on. Alrighty, I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, so, what are we talking about today? What is the stream about today? Well. How about this for the big news? Yeah. I love it. Oh, man. But seriously, I'm the big four Megadeth. Is probably my favorite. There we are. And David's live streaming too. Okay.
Yeah.
There we are. Slayer is a close 3 to Metallica, though.
And
they're all good bands. But anyway, okay, so.
Invite me in.
Big news of the week is that Eric's out as CSX CEO. Uh-oh. Yeah. So Joe Hendricks, who's been the president CEO of CSX, has been pushed out of CSX Corporation. There you go. So the move comes as a surprise, as Hendricks on Friday had hosted a high-profile media event to mark the reopening of the Howard Street Tunnel.
Yep.
And the railroad's plan to expand intermodal traffic.
The Howard Street
into
Tunnel.
the port of Baltimore.
But
Hendricks is a former Ford CEO, popular among CSX employees, making frequent visits along the railroad's network, leading early contract agreements with some of the railroad's unions. Okay, so he seemed like a pretty reasonable guy. It seemed pretty cool. But the company's stock price had failed to show substantial improvement. Oh, here comes the kicker.
the bean counters.
Since Hendricks joined CSX president and CEO in late September 2022, succeeding James Foote. And railroad's metrics has also trailed the other Class 1 carriers, leading. Here we go. This is what we're going to talk about tonight. Anaconda in the room, rather than the elephant.
Yep.
Anaconda's a pretty big too. Ancora Holdings, leading activist investor Ancora Holdings, this past summer to call for Hendricks to step down. Yeah.
And they got their way.
I guess they can do that, right? The change in leadership also follows the announcement by Union Pacific and CSX Eastern rival Norfolk Southern of an $85 billion merger that we've been talking about for quite a while. This channel now, since this has come out, would create the first U.S. transcontinental railroad. Okay, so yeah, long story short, especially now in modern day America, if you're the CEO of a company, you're basically going to be on a revolving door, where one CEO comes in, and this is what happens. One CEO goes out, another one comes in. So now we have the former CEO of Lindy. I'm familiar with that company because that was a pretty big competitor to one of the companies I work for. Toyota. I like to tell people that it's actually the original Toyota company, the automobile company. It's a spin-off, but all good products, reliable. That's one of the main things. But Lindy is a European, German or Austrian. I don't remember exactly. I'm probably completely messing it up. But and Praxair, which created the world's largest industrial gases and engineering company. Anel was the CEO of Praxair from 2007 to 2018 and became CEO after the merger in 2018. Okay, so that's the new guy now. There we go. Yeah, so this is the problem. One thing that we keep talking about when it comes to any sort of leadership in America is that CEOs, unfortunately, we talked about this before. Particularly with another high-profile event concerning a CEO and concerning a certain Nintendo character, we could call him. The minute that CEO was...
I know what he's talking about.
Disappeared.
I know what he's talking about. It crazy
part. So it's not like there's a glut of CEOs in any sort in America. They tend to just come and go. And this is what happens in publicly traded companies, is that you'll find this sort of... chaos actually rather common. And especially now with a lot of private equity investments, activist investor holding groups, and all the sort of stuff, which we're going to get into when it comes to Ancora Holdings. The minute that you're not getting the minute that you're not following Milton Friedman's his greatest commandment to all companies is not do the best job that you can, provide the best product and the best service to your customer. No, it's provide the best to your shareholders. You provide shareholder now. Who cares if the company is completely falling to the ground? But as long as you're getting, as long as those shareholders are getting dividends and they're getting money and they're getting stock buybacks, who cares, right? And this is the crony capitalism, unfortunately.
It is. What Dimitri is saying is true. It's crony capitalism.
And the last episode. So let's talk about Ancora Holdings, right? And this is just one of the anacondas, or one of the creatures. Let's put it that way. It's one of several major creatures. It's just been part of the main problem that we're seeing right now in the United States. Okay, you have crony capitalism on one side, and then you have socialist communism on the other side. The thing with both of these problems. They're both the same side they're both different sides of the same coin. And the problem with this coin is that the main purpose of it is that we own nothing and we will be happy. According to them, you will own nothing and you will be happy. That is the problem with just unfettered capitalism and communist socialism. is that ultimately you, the nation, the people, family, you as an individual own nothing. You don't have any ownership. You don't have any community. You own nothing.
Dimitri is right about that.
Consolidated into either the government or into a whole bunch of just one corporations. And that's the problem. Corporations, communism, it all leads. This problem is that it's leading to the same problem, the same thing. But let's go into this. Ancora was founded in 2003. So this is not like a new company, or this is not a Rockefeller company. Let's give at least as their so-called robber barons.
You're right.
Okay, this is the massive difference between the capitalists of the Gilded Age, so-called robber barons, and now the ones that we see now today, the crony capitalists, so-called captains of industry. Completely different. You don't see Ancora Holdings building anything.
You don't.
They're trading these companies and moving stuff and trading CEOs like flipping Pokemon cards. Okay? They target firms, and here you go. Target is kind of a term. Let's just put it this way. They're mainly focusing on firms like Norfolk Southern, Coles, CSX Transportation, U.S. Steel. So they have a thing. They have a thing here. Okay? And note to self, here we are. Reuters notes that their nominations are ahead of the industry average in gender diversity. Okay, so these are not your chauvinist conservative or whatever people know. These people believe all full front to DEI, to leftist DEI. Okay, let's put it this way.
Yep, DEI crap.
Okay? It's and they capitalize on the gains. That's what they get. All right, so yeah, they're basically like vulture capitalists in a sense. Bed Bath and Beyond, Kohl's. You don't see Bed Bath and Beyond anymore. And Kohl's is going the same way.
Yep,
so
you're right.
Kohl's cash, whenever you can. Talking to my mother-in-law, who probably has this, she's probably like ranked number 1 in use of Kohl's cash in the country, probably. Yeah, that's hey, you got to use it before this company gets to it. So yeah, they're not.
You're right.
This we've talked about Ancora Holdings before. Let's see if I can get through this at about like 8:45. We got just a couple things here, a couple articles, and we're mainly going to talk about this, and then you guys can talk about whatever you want. If you want to talk about this, perfectly fine. But if you want to talk about something else, we can go there. But we've talked about Ancora Holdings before, particularly with Norfolk Southern, and we'll get to that in a second because this company has done sort of the same thing over and over and over again. They've been quite out there, okay?
You're right.
In February 2025, this is what happened with U.S. Steel, okay? They were a part of that as well.
And I gotta fix it.
The proxy battle, the dismissal of U.S. Steel CEO, and the rejection of legislation to rekindle the Nippon Steel.
No.
So whenever Ancora Holdings doesn't get what they want, they go after the CEO, and they start a complete, let's say, shitstorm over it. And how
Dimitri, you're right. They do shitstorms over stuff like this.
It's kind of funny, but it's kind of scary at the same time. Ancora pointed out is not interested in selling U.S. Steel, but initiating a turnaround in public markets, beginning with naming 9 candidates, including Steel co-CEO Alan Kestenbaum, to the blah blah blah. Okay. Anyway, let's get to it. Ancora management contended that the U.S. Steel sale to a foreign firm had hurt U.S. Steel's shareholders. Not that it cares about what it means to the country or to the workers or to America as a whole. It hurt the shareholders. The steelmaker had focused on legislative and operational and business issues. Ancora proposed shareholders will unite around Kestenbaum as he would cease payments to the Wall Street advisors, focus on recovery strategy, and mend relations with steel unions. In February 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump announced Nippon Steel would be investing in U.S. Steel, not purchasing the company outright without mentioning any details of investment, to the point that even Trump had to get involved. That was one. But then we talked about this last year, about Norfolk Southern. Okay? And we'll get into Norfolk Southern real quickly over here. So let's get into that. So Norfolk Southern management fends off board takeover by Ancora. So after Norfolk Southern was having a not so great time after their own fault with East Palestine and
the East Palestine stuff. I know, right? Thinking about it.
Voting system that they've been running that had directly caused the accident because they don't go ahead and look at their or they don't actually take care of the equipment anymore. Or let's put it this way: they decrease the amount of opportunities to go ahead and actually repair the equipment. They haven't done any sort of inspections, or they've decreased the amount of inspections, and they're decreasing the safety factors in order to go ahead and increase operational revenue. That's basically what they've done. That's what Precision Scheduled Railroading, which we've talked about ad nauseam on this channel too.
Oh yeah,
so let's get into this here. Now, for this was back in May 9th, 2024. We've talked about this. I'm just refreshing everybody's memory. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. We talk a lot about trains here, so if you're watching and you have no clue what's going on, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
Oh yeah,
this is what we do here. Speaking of, I'm going to get a drink over here because we haven't had any autumn here in the Midwest. Summer is still lingering, but I'm going to enjoy a maple root. From respect, because I went to Menards today to get some autumn decorations to try to at least invoke some sort of autumn fall atmosphere around over here. At least we can have that. But let's go ahead.
Sorry, everyone trying to fix something.
All right. The result of the shareholder vote announced at a company's annual meeting did cost board chair Amy Miles her position, as she was not reelected, but CEO Alan Shaw was returned to his seat on Norfolk Southern board. And of 7 Ancora nominees, only 3 were elected. So they tried everything they can to get rid of Norfolk Southern CEO, which at the time he was doing everything he could to save face for Norfolk Southern. He was putting a lot of costs into going ahead and increasing safety after that, or just skipping around it or whatever, doing the same sort of corporate thing. But at least it seemed like he was trying to go ahead and increase investments into safety at Norfolk Southern, of which Ancora was not really happy about. Okay, because they've tried this over and over again and talked about making sure that they go back on the path of Precision Scheduled Railroading, as we can see over here. Activist investor group would put Norfolk Southern back on PSR path, reduce operating ratio to 57%. So they were upset that Norfolk Southern was trying to fix their stuff, trying to get back into. This is all public. You can go into SC filings. You go to Norfolk Southern and see what any of their investors, the company has put out as their own communications. That's all collected on the Security and Exchange Commission. They collect all that information. That's all public information. But Ancora Holdings, really quickly, you can see over here, Norfolk Southern Corporation, name and registry, Ancora Catalyst Institutional LP, Ancora Advisors, Ancora Alternatives, Ancora Bellator Fund. I don't know, maybe they get into USC or something. Ancora Catalyst, Ancora Family Wealth Advice, Ancora Group, Ancora Holdings. Okay, so they have a whole bunch of these different shell holding companies.
It's scummy, but
name and persons registered. Okay, so this is what they call trying to move Norfolk Southern's what they call move NSC forward. They were starting to get upset that they were starting to spend into any sort of things in terms of safety or anything like that. Now, Ancora Holdings is smart, and of course, not going to go and say we don't like that they're doing safety. We don't like that, so we want them to stop. But there's a whole entire, and I'm sorry that everything was late over here. A lot of my time right now is being spent into looking at this because this is a massive, long PDF over here and a massive presentation. There's like 170 something pages if you'll actually go ahead and bring itself up over here. So they were trying to do everything as possible as they can to get rid of Shaw as CEO. Okay, and a lot of it they go into costs, and they want.
You're right.
They're really wanting some sort of mergers as well. They were not. They were pretty upset that there was no sort of merger. Go into the safety over here. Cost control, manage cost, targeted creating network operating leverage. They're trying to, again, their whole solution, PSR powered scheduled network strategy. So they go into this whole article, or this whole entire thing of how it's, Shaw has been bad for the company, which, yeah, in a sense he has. But they're trying to go ahead and frame it as what happened in East Palestine was all a part of that, which East Palestine, all what happened there was all this scheduled railroad. Okay?
Right.
That was nothing to do with getting away from precision scheduled railroading. That was precision scheduled railroading.
You're right.
So they're going ahead around here. And you can go and look at this whole entire thing. I can put links to this below, but reading through this and showcasing how I want to increase, let's say, train velocity. And again, talking about this sort of stuff, increasing train velocity from 37%. That's what they want to that, because they want to bring somebody from Kansas City Southern into as CEO of. At this time, they wanted to have him as CEO of Norfolk Southern. Okay, increasing train velocity and talking about the merger as well. And they're really pushing for a merger with CSX. So I know I'm going all over the place over here, but I'm trying to put this argument over together. Okay?
You're crazy.
So at the time, again, they're talking about this. They didn't get it the first time around. So in court, they oust Norfolk Southern Shaw at first, but ultimately succeeded. So what did they do to get rid of Shaw? Because the first round, Shaw was able to keep his job. He was able to stay there and whatever. And Core wasn't happy. So what did they do? They go ahead and dig up an affair that he had. Here we are. In the end, and Core got stand because here first. Feds off for takeover by Ancor. So that was Thursday, May 9, 2024. So a couple months later, September 12, 2024, they finally get what they wanted. In the end, Ancor got its man. In a stunning turn of events that could not have been foreseen, when Alan Shaw, then the CEO of Norfolk Southern, swatted away a proxy battle by Ancor Holdings in May to have him removed from his job. Shaw is now gone anyway. He was found soon after the launch of an investigation of a personal relationship with the company's chief legal officer, Navanita C. Nag. Don't simp, first of all. Don't simp. Don't have affairs. Now that wasn't a good thing. But second of all, again, who knows if this was true or not?
It's bad.
There you are. It was Ancora that spurred the investigation that was disclosed to the public on Sunday, but which has at least proceeded so far enough by Wednesday that Shaw and Nag were both dismissed. They leave the company without severance. So they got what they wanted. So whether this
they are real crooked,
or anything like that, or this affair was real or not, the fact that Ancora Holdings, basically, they probably hired some sort of private investigator or made up the dirt or however else themselves, went ahead to go ahead and launch this investigation, find this out. They got what they wanted. So why am I talking about this? Because this holding company will do whatever it takes to go ahead and get what they want. To go ahead and increase operating revenue, to increase their shareholder. If their CEO is not going ahead doing what they want, they will go ahead and remove them. Now you're asking me, well, they're a private holding company, and they should be getting rid of CEOs that don't do well. They should be getting rid of people who don't perform. And they should be getting rid of people who have affairs at work. What's wrong with that? Well, that's not the thing. We're not talking about all that. All that sort of stuff is wrong. Okay? What Norfolk Southern did in East Palestine was blatantly wrong. What they've continued to do now, even now, is worse. Okay?
You're right.
Since Shaw has been taken off of the helm at Norfolk Southern, they've only become worse now. That Ancora basically controls Norfolk Southern. They're now going into this full-on merger with BNSF, which at this point is looking more inevitable every day. They've also now gone even heavily further into denying whatever they did in East Palestine. In just the last year alone, going ahead and now suing any sort of company that had any involvement with it, suing Dow Chemical. Suing the maker of the car that where the chemicals were contained in. This company is doing everything it can to make Norfolk Southern even worse. Okay?
You're right.
Shaw was bad. Let's put it that. Shaw wasn't a great guy. Okay? And if this is true, again, this investigation didn't amount to much of, it wasn't proven in court or anything like that. And frankly, I don't care. But yeah, that's wrong. Okay, if he did do that, let's say, innocent until proven guilty. If he did have this affair, wrong. Okay, so Shaw's not a good guy. But now they put in somebody even worse. And this is the problem. Why is it that a private holding company valued at $9.5 billion has so much control over critical American infrastructure?
Should not be that way.
How can they have so much
Should
control
not be
that
that
they
way.
want to snap their fingers like Thanos? They can change the entire board. Like nothing. Okay? By the way, here we are. It's only getting worse on both sides. The CSX has kind of put themselves in a problem. So now, Ancora sought to require CSX to quickly proceed with merger communications with BNSF for Canadian Pacific Kansas City, i.e. the one company that already went ahead and merged already in the last 2 or 3 years. Okay? So now Ancora wants to go ahead, and why? Because mergers make the money. Okay? At least at the onset of a merger, they're going to make a ton of money. So, on top of that, to quickly go ahead and proceed with merger communication BNSF for Canadian Pacific, while asserting that CEO Joe Hendrick should be replaced because of claimed financial and operational decline of the railroad, among other claims. Even though since Hendricks joined CEX in 2022, the railroad has produced the best total shareholder returns among publicly traded Class 1 railroads. Okay?
Right.
So, there you go. And this was on here. Strongly disagrees with activist investors' accusations. And we'll go into that. Okay? Why was Hendricks booted off of CSX? Because he says this, the obsession with profit margins is stunting the railroad's growth.
You're right.
Subtitle, carriers can be efficient and compete with trucks, Hendricks says. Now, Hendricks seems to be a good guy. He seems to be pretty well lauded. And you can tell over here. Here we are. President Hendricks was popular among CSX employees, making frequent visits along the railroad network and completing early contract agreements with some of the railroad's unions. Okay. So it looks like he was a good guy. He respected his employees, he respected the railroad, and he wanted to succeed. And Gore didn't like that because it doesn't make them enough money. Not making them money quickly enough. And then he said this, obsession with profit margins stunting railroads growth. They're not making money fast enough. So the average class railroad operating ratio fell from 17.8 in 2012 to a record low 59.9% in 2021. What does operating ratio mean? That basically it is over here, for every 70 cents you spend, you make $1. Well, now for every 60 cents you make, you get $1. So that's what the operating ratio is. The lower it is, the better. The less you spend, the more money you get, hence a better operating ratio. That's what they're really going for. That's the stat that makes it all for shareholder value.
I think we need to
So here he is. This is what he's saying. Let's be honest. The last 10 to 15 years, the main focus of the industry has been structuring the business to get a lot more efficient, to create better margins, which in itself is a bad thing, Hendricks says. But that was the number one focus. And you can see all that activist activity and all the things that went on to drive that obsession with operational revenue improvement, which again, onto itself is not bad. He's giving himself as much benefit of the doubt here, as much disclaimers as possible. He's trying to be nice, okay? Hendricks says, but there wasn't at the time the same drive to grow volume. The only incentive for railroad management teams over the past decade plus, Hendricks says, has been to reduce the operating ratio.
Right.
He's saying the truth, okay? This is why we haven't seen so much innovation. No sort of technological innovation, no sort of operational innovation, no sort of way to go ahead and improve the railroads, improve the technology, improve maybe going back into passenger passenger revenue service. And this is why a lot of these railroads try to snub Amtrak as much as possible by not letting them onto the railroad. Because they're mainly now under pressure to keep these trains running 24/7. And Amtrak can't even get on there, even though by federal law, Amtrak is supposed to have priority to use the freight railroad tracks. Because Amtrak doesn't own outside of a couple of places in the Northeast Corridor. They don't own these tracks. So now, because they have a whole bunch of pressure from their supervisors, all these, all the rail yards, and all that pressure is coming mainly from these private investment corporations, these private equity funds, and these investor activist investment groups that are pushing. No, you have to keep running the railroads. No, you have to keep running the railroads. Don't stop it. Don't stop the trains. It's on fire. Don't stop it. Keep running it. I don't care. No, keep running the trains. That's basically what they're getting from up top. That's what Ancora Holdings wants. So they can make all this stuff if they want to talk about safety or anything like that. The only thing they talk about, really, what they want, is talking about, and they're saying, let me go ahead and let's just zoom this out here. Maybe you guys can see that better. They're
Right.
in a way saying that whole safety investments right after East Palestine for Norfolk Southern was seen as a defensive maneuver.
Oh yeah.
Now, again, how real is that? I don't know, but it seems, again, they say over here, they want precision schedule railroad, which is what has caused the decline and destruction of America's freight railroads.
You're
It's
right.
there, plain and clear and simple. The case for operationally proficient leaders in a PSR-powered scheduled network. Not about a railroad for tomorrow, not about a railroad that gives back to the community, not about a railroad that is constantly innovating, becoming better,
You're right.
and improving operations all around and improving safety. No, precision schedule.
It's about making money for the bean
about
counters.
the money, but this is the problem: is that they're using capital as a bludgeon against us and using it for their own good, while we own nothing, and they will be happy. So that's what they're doing. They're not trying to make a better company, and once this is done, they'll just move on to the next. These are rootless people without any sort of actual care in the world. It's not like at least the Rockefellers or JP Morgans of the world 100 years ago at least gave back to their community. They didn't just jet off to, away to go vacation in Miami or London or to Tel Aviv or wherever the heck they disappear to whenever things aren't going well. Okay? At least the more central terminal. Okay? All of these buildings and all that, at least and that's really the issue.
Really is right when you think about it.
That ultimately leads. But what happened to Russia? Russia went from communism to full-blown crony capitalism under perestroika. They had somewhere balanced or something just really safe. Now they're in some sort of weirdo economic bubble. But that's not the problem. The problem is that we're going into full-on perestroika over here because you have a whole bunch of these companies basically buying up everything. We have no control. There's no community control. There's some companies that are doing well. Yeah, but you don't. For every Fortress Investment Group, for every one bright line that is using capital to actually build something, that's what's amazing about Brightline. Okay, that for the first time in 100 years, nearly 100 years, a private railroad corporation has come out to go ahead and build a passenger railroad system, a high-speed rail passenger railroad
train
system.
getting ready to go by.
From most of the
go by right now.
You're not seeing it because it doesn't make them quick money. Which is why Brightline has been attacked by a lot of these sorts of corporations because it doesn't make them money quickly. They want the quick money, not making something that's going to be long-term beneficial, not just for the company, but long-term beneficial for Americans as a whole.
You're right about
and
that.
That's the problem with this.
There's a problem with
here
it.
You go again. And to make it even worse, when it comes to now the merger, or now a potential merger between CSX and BNSF. CSX has now hired Goldman Sachs to advise regarding any merger.
Oh, dear.
Remember Goldman Sachs, guys? Remember it wasn't too
that
long
piece
ago.
of
What
shit.
happened? Oh, back in 2008. Yeah, Goldman was criticized for allegedly misleading its investors and profiting from the collapse of the mortgage market during the 2008 financial crisis. Did anybody go to jail after that?
Nope.
The golden parachutes? This is what we're talking about. Again, there's no consequences for this type of behavior, and that's not going to lead. No changes. No consequences, no changes.
You're right.
Okay? Good on Hendricks for going ahead and saying the truth. Okay? Again, why these Class 1 railroads have just become lethargic giants that have not innovated, that have not been able to go ahead and push forward and actually make real improvements to their network, for their customers, and for this country, so we can have actual real working jobs and actual real wages over here, real companies and real jobs that Americans can have over here again. It's because of this sort of mindset, okay? And these companies will do the same thing. They will do anything they can. It's the same sort of obsession. Why all of a lot of our factories have gone overseas is for the same thing. Because actual real family.
You're right.
That's the problem. It's that same sort of thinking that we're seeing over here, and that is what's leading to these sorts of problems in America.
You're right.
And they've been called out for it a couple times. Here's one. Ancora's safety white paper can't withstand a simple faction. So they did everything they can to bludgeon Norfolk Southern to get rid of their CEO again, who was not a good guy. The fact that he had, look, here's the difference. They had to do whatever they can to push CSX as CEO. They didn't come to any sort of thing to say that, oh yeah, he was having an affair or any sort of excuse like that. They just got rid of him. And what they said here is they used probably his own words. They probably used his own words to the shareholders to say, hey, the only incentive for railroad management over the past decade has been to reduce operating ratio. They gave that to the money people over the shareholders. They said, hey, he doesn't like that you're making money. Get him out. Get him off the board immediately. There you go. And this guy gave himself enough benefit of the doubt. Look at the efficiencies and operating margins, but if your only pursuit is every quarter trying to show a little better operating revenue, then intermodal business is not going to be your priority, or other truck competitive local businesses. Let's say because pricing dynamics are different. So that's the reason why the railroads have been having such an issue going against it, which the truck industry is not really running too good.
You're right about that.
Really a great running industry right
Trucking industry not doing so well right now either.
In the trucking industry, how much fraud is happening in the trucking industry, how much waste is now in the trucking industry, and on top of that, we all have to pay for how inefficient the trucking industry is right now.
Oh, that is true.
Accidents, because of all the usage of the roads that we pay the taxes for, and they never get fixed. And there's so much truck traffic now everywhere you look. And again, it's causing a clog up on our infrastructure. It's causing a danger to our infrastructure, to all of us.
Right.
So yeah, this is part of the reason why we can't get trucks off the road. It's because again, the railroads have been hampered. Not just by the federal government not doing anything about it, but also you have on one side the federal government's over-regulating everything, so you can't really have smaller railroads take over.
Exactly.
But or at least you're not even forcing some sort of deconsolidation.
But he's saying it's true.
You have this ultra crony capitalist, this corporate autocracy taking over, bludgeoning on both sides, going ahead and saying, yeah, no, we just want money. This is what we're stuck with. Okay? And the reason why nobody else is really talking about this except for us, but it just became a warning to me. The minute that I saw this article yesterday, and then I read through it and I said, Ancora Holdings, didn't we talk about them before?
We did.
And there's a whole blood trail with this company, okay? They'll use whatever excuse they can to go ahead and make blame. They don't care about safety. They can go ahead and talk eloquent all they want about safety. They don't care about it.
They don't.
What's their first and only priority is dead. There you go. The case for operational proficient leaders and precision scheduled railroading powered scheduled network. That's it. It's all about operating revenue. Means more stock buybacks, means more dividends for them. Now, that doesn't mean anything really for us. And they'll go ahead and suck dry these railroads to the ground, move on to the next parties. Ultimately, what they're sucking dry is our country and our nation.
Right.
That's the problem that we're facing today. On one side, an over-regulating government that can't seem to figure itself out, bludgeoning us over and over again with just the wrong types of regulation. For us to go ahead and make a small business, we're met all the time with a whole bunch of just this massive framework that the average American can't get over. Or they're stuck with gig work, or they're stuck with in a dead-end job, They can't move out. There's no upward mobility. They can't have families. And then on the other side, this is what we're stuck with.
You're right.
This really one of the main issues. Why?
He literally is right about it. Like, no joke, he is right.
Because it makes these companies money. Why is it that you have it, you can't own a house or anything like that? You're just now being forced to rent where you go. Because these companies have bought up a whole bunch of rental properties and a whole bunch of houses and have driven the prices up. This is, we're facing this on both sides of this. We don't have a chance as a nation if we can't go ahead and at least address this.
Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, look, a lot to go over, but yeah, it kind of deserves its own video, and I don't really see that many people talking about it. I'm pretty sure, guaranteed, you're gonna find like disingenuous channels like More Perfect Union go ahead and take this. But again, the problem that ticks me off about More Perfect Union, which again, they're act blue, by the way. Okay, they're basically a whole bunch of Bernie bros. They go ahead and make an argument and say, oh yeah, everything we agree with. Yeah, we don't like data centers popping up all over the place. Yeah, we don't like a whole bunch of companies going ahead and throwing chemicals all into our food and stuff like that. But then the solutions they give is just more government. It's just disingenuous, just plain up bad faith garbage. So at least we have to say the truth or something, at least like that. This is not the way to fix this. Honestly, is that you have a way around this. Okay,
you're right.
The sort of critical infrastructure should not be going ahead and trading around like flipping Pokemon cards. Okay, it comes to housing. Okay, housing should not be. Housing should be housing. Okay, there shouldn't be these sorts of investments that are continually driven up in prices and price out families and younger people to go ahead and have homes. Okay, there's just some things that just shouldn't be played around like that.
It should be illegal.
And actually implementing actual real antitrust busting monopolies. This in itself is a monopoly. Look, they did this not just the CSX, but the Norfolk Southern. Okay? Yeah, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street.
Are you kidding me?
Three of the biggest problems when it comes to this. But look at all the smaller creatures here. This is just one. And Core Holdings. I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and find a whole bunch of other companies that do this sort of garbage. Okay? And again, the other problem that comes to is that they're investment, instead of going ahead and putting that money back into the railroads to go ahead and upgrade the infrastructure, upgrade the equipment, upgrade the safety measures, they're taking that money and giving it back to the shareholders. Either as dividends, using it as stock buybacks, whatever. They're just cycling money. Instead of using capital to build actual real investments,
you're right about that.
Infrastructure, they're just using that money to go ahead and make money. They're just going like this, rubbing the money, making more money. That's not a real economy. That's vulture. This is a vulture economy. Okay? This is why we have so many zombie companies now. Okay?
You're right.
Anyway, I mean, I don't know how else we can talk about. I'm done talking. You guys can do the talking, but it's just infuriating. Oh man!
Get ready for it to join in.
We're stuck.
Took almost 44 minutes.
Right,
it about time, Demetrius. Because one, I have a family member who worked for CSX.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
And
yeah, everybody. Hello.
All right, let me. I have a family member who worked for CSX, and I was talking to him about this yesterday. I was talking.
Let's do this. Okay, so let's do this one at a time. We'll go in terms. David, you go ahead. 2 minutes for everybody.
All right.
Let's put 2 minutes time somewhere.
All right.
2 minutes for everybody.
All right. Let me bring it up. I have a family member who worked for CSX. I was talking to him about it yesterday when he stopped by my workplace because he was on his way to work. They were talking about what happened, and a ton of the employees are pissed. They're talking about walking around out nationwide.
There should be.
Keep your heads up. In the next 12 months, they're going to probably be a massive lockout of CSX. And here's the other thing. Jane, what happened to CSX, all the big corporations doing it, This should be illegal. Hell, if it had happened back when Teddy Roosevelt was in office, like back in his day, I guarantee y'all this. If this had happened, half of them would be rotting in jail right now. Probably won't see the light of day until their 90s, you know?
You're right.
Yeah.
And I
What
think...
is it that Teddy said? Speak softly, carry big stick, something.
Yep.
Speak calmly, carry a big stick, and you shall go far.
Oh, yeah.
It's an African proverb that he gets attributed to him.
And the thing is, like, let me be honest.
That's true, minor tree. David, go ahead.
Let me be honest. Like, the company that are doing this to CSX and Norfolk Southern right now, if I was the president right now, I'm going to bring it up. If I was the president, I would have literally raided all their businesses, put them in handcuffs, and throw them in jail. Just throw them in jail. That's what I would do.
There is baked
But
chicken, mashed potatoes, and a little
it-
bit of green beans if y'all want some.
Alright, got it. Sorry about that. Family member letting me know there was food ready, but let me get back to this. Like, literally, because what the people are doing to our nation is a crime. It's criminal. Like, they should be rotting in jail. Worse yet, what they do to the country should count as treason. It should be count as treason. They should be hung publicly for it, you know?
All right, okay, we're good.
Am I right?
That's a minute, David. No, you got a point there, okay? Yeah, it's robbing our nation, because our kids, which, you know, I'm having a kid, God willing, you know, and hopefully many more, and our grandkids are not going to have a nation. They're going to be stuck. You will own nothing, and you will be happy, because everything's going to be owned by BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. They're not going to be able to have a piece or pie of the American dream. They're not going to be able to go ahead and say, you know, I want to innovate, or I want to invent something, I want to help my community, I want to make something great. They're not going to be able to do that because they're going to be surrounded by a whole bunch of legislation, a whole bunch of regulations that stop them from doing what they want to go ahead and do what's right. Stop them from being the best that they could be. And all the deregulation is going up to the top. This company has again nothing. They've hit no sort of consequences whatsoever.
Exactly.
Goldman Sachs is still in business. They're making revenue. There you go. 2024. They made $53.5 billion.
Like, literally.
They have $1.68 trillion in assets. So they didn't pay anything for what they did in 2008. They're doing fine and dandy. They are good to go, man.
Here's the funny thing. If Goldman Sachs have not done their shit, like if Goldman Sachs did not even exist, we would have been able to afford a house right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I apologize for going over time, but yeah, Dave,
but
talk, man. Who's next is my entry.
Nailed it right on the top.
I've got a few quick things to say. The first one, since your wife is pregnant, you might have to...
Ooh, congratulations, Demetrius!
Get in moderation now. We can't go too far.
Guess who is daddy?
The second one, I'm going to have to rebuke you from earlier when you're attributing to Milton Friedman of meeting the shareholders' demands right now. It's not the shareholders' demand right now. It's for the next quarter's projections, and if it destroys the company within the next decade, who cares?
And
that's true.
And here, Jane.
But the third point, you can pull up the CSX article when they were talking about the company, and they had an interesting point of their avoidable safety issues. If you have to put that on a PowerPoint, it's a bigger issue than you might have mentioned. Because, come on, if it's avoidable, that means you've known about it ahead of time. Yeah. And it hurts you to lift a finger to do something about it.
And they did. They known about it before did, and I want to chime in real quick about this. What had happened in Iran, and hell, I'm already calling it. We're going to have something this as bad at Penn Central. We're going to have a Penn Central 2.0 collapse. I'm already calling it. Like,
Yeah.
Probably true. Trainee,
if I'm going to take any bets, it's probably going to be down to the individual month. So, if you give me some time, I can get you some odds for individual months for now for the next decade. But it's
it's not.
But it's probably going to happen statistically to one of the class 1 or 2 railroads in the next decade, if not sooner.
Yeah, definitely some. There's going to be some sort of slow collapse over here. That's definitely something we're going to be looking at.
Speak of that.
Like this is just, it's continually churning out. I'm sorry to say, but
how's our involvement going?
Speak of that on.
That's what I was saying.
How's our involvement in these corporations, and how our involvement in our communities to stop these corporations and put them on a restraint.
Well, one.
I'll get to that. But here's
Oh, speak.
And this is where I hand it over to Grand Trunk. The easy way of doing it is to become a shareholder of it, probably closer to 10% of the total company minimum before they give you a big enough voice. Other than that, you can get with your friends to get that amount of shares, and then you all speak as one, but
even with a big enough voice.
Yeah, here's the problem with that. It's like a GameStop. Wait, stop. Everybody stop. Yes. I gotta get, where's my train whistle over here? Okay, here's the doing that. What happened with GameStop? You had a whole bunch of investors, or a bunch of just regular people. Regular people get ahead and go ahead, collaborate, get together and organize and say, hey, let's keep buying up shares of GameStop. There's this company that's going ahead and shorting the stock more or less to zero to go ahead and keep making it. They're buying more stocks than there actually exist to go ahead and short it to an unbelievable level. That's illegal. So let's go ahead and buy as much stocks as possible to drive up the price and drive them out of business and make money at the same time. Who got in trouble? Not the company that was doing something illegal, shorting the stock. It were all the regular folks that went ahead and they got in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of the issue that we're going against over here. Again, the regulations seem to go against, they go against the little guy, and all the deregulation goes up to, it's an imbalance of regulation. And then our economy turns into this disgusting human centipede of just, it's just taking out more cash. I know it's a disgusting analogy, but it's true. This is what this sort of crony capitalism does.
And Dimitri, saying like literally, they literally admitted that they wanted to be their slave, making their money while we're struggling. But
I know. All right, let's give Grand Trunk line time, and then after it's done, then everybody can go for free for all. But everybody needs to have at least 2 minutes. Okay, Grand Trunk line, go ahead.
When it came to mergers, the reason why Canadian Pacific merged with Kansas City Southern.
I want to get some greens.
When not much tracking, they allowed that to go through because there was not much trackage according to the STB law that came in 2001.
Like, it's crazy when you think about it.
You keep going, man. You're good. Go ahead.
Like there was not much trackage that they owned, but Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern, that's a different story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's the difference between you're completely right. Grand Trunk line. So the difference between what happened with Canadian Pacific and why that was not as dangerous of a merger as some of the others. Again, look at the lines over here. This is Kansas City, and then Canadian Pacific is all up over here. Now, most of the lines up over here you go in Alberta, Edmonton, Calgary, you have a whole bunch over there, and into the rest of the provinces over here into Canada. But then, really, they just have a little bit over here into Minnesota, into Wisconsin, into Illinois, Chicago, and then into Iowa, and then Kansas City, and then down into Texas, and a little bit into Mississippi, Louisiana, and then into Mexico. but you don't have this monster that is we're going to get now when it comes to BNSF and CSX. Look at how much different that is compared to what you had. You make a great point there, Randy, someone. What we have now with BNSF and I'm sorry, not BNSF and CSX, but with the merger between
Union Pacific and Norfolk Southern.
Yeah, hold on, wait, the timer just went off. That just went in. Yeah, Union Norfolk Southern. Is that again? You have two massive railroads at two ends of the country to create the first transcontinental railroad. That's again, you're talking about again more monopolization, more consolidation, and it just leads to the same thing over again. It's going to lead to massive jobs. It's going to lead to more of a lethargic and a crumbling railroad network.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
it's just
true.
going to lead to just more money for the shareholders. That's Yeah, go ahead.
You know who's really gonna feel the pinch though? It's gonna be the short lines.
Oh
They're
yes.
gonna really feel the pinch.
Yes, that is true. The short lines are going to get.
Less business, so like bridge lines that compete with the other railroads or main rail like with the big railroads are gonna struggle.
Oh yeah, the bridge line railroads, which are mostly Class 2 and Class 3s, they're going to get screwed over bad. Like
the local railroad right now, the Iowa Interstate already doesn't do too much. I'd imagine that will probably shut down.
No, and that's where you find
business.
And that's where you find the most innovation and the most community-centric type of railroading is going to come from Class 2s and Class 3s. Look, no Class 1 brought back passenger railroads. It took a Class 2 Florida East Coast, the spin-off, Brightline, to
that's
go
true.
ahead and bring back passenger rail lines, and not just passenger rail line, but high-speed rail. We're not seeing that sort of innovation from any of the Class 1s. They're just stuck in this big money.
The Florida East Coast Railroad is in a prime location for passenger rail.
True.
I mean prime.
Yeah, it was perfect moment, perfect timing, perfect location. The stars aligned for that one, without a doubt.
That right.
Alrighty, who's next? Adam Everywhere. 2 minutes. Go ahead and say whatever you want, man. Not whatever you want, but within reason. Go ahead.
Whatever within reason.
Okay, so how's everybody doing?
We can hear you.
We're good, man. We're good. Go ahead.
We can hear you.
Okay, so I came back. I came back on vacation a few days ago. Went from Boston, hopefully New England and back again. We actually took the new Excel and it was amazing. I thought the seats were hard, but it wasn't that bad.
Ooh.
That was just on the Excel.
That good.
7 out of 10 then.
Nice.
Mm.
You took pictures and did you take pictures?
Yeah, plenty of pictures. Especially went from Boston, New Hampshire, from Massachusetts, went to Connecticut, then Rhode Island and back.
Ooh, that nice. That's a real nice, Alan.
Yes, and that was just last week I came back.
Ooh, that nice.
That's good, man.
Oh, speaking of that, I snuck a meme in.
Is there a name?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll look at it later. Adam, go ahead and finish. Apologies.
Yeah, I posted some from newsletters on Discord for you to see. Going into the chat name, I'll post these links. Talk about what's happening since you were talking for at least 30 minutes or so. Let's talk about the difference between Wales and the United States and Wales and Europe, and how do they work differently in terms of businesses, and what do they actually hold or take one country to the other country.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the same then.
Yeah, there's some things that we can take away. Again, we don't have to copy, and we probably shouldn't be copying everything that Europe is doing. Not everything that they're doing is wonderful and grand, especially when it comes to things like free speech and all that sort of stuff. But again, when it comes to the railroads, Europe has a more market friendly and a more actual free market when it comes to the railroads. You look at Spain, you have multiple operators, multiple companies operating high-speed rail on the same lines, different lines. You don't have that in the United States. So they've actually gone ahead and innovated and become more market-friendly railroads where you have private companies public government companies are all competing, more or less on the same railroads.
You right?
We don't have this in the United States.
And not only that, many of the high-speed rail companies have basically like a low-cost version of their company as a spin-off that runs on the same rails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here we go.
It's just economy only, but it's still better than nothing.
Yeah. So there you go. Here's the actual free from high-speed rail competition. The Madrid-Barcelona high-speed route in Spain currently has 4 operators battling out for customers, something of a triumph for anti-monopoly efforts on the railways. There you go. In Spain. In Spain, where you go ahead and take naps for 3 hours a day. There you go. So yeah, you don't have to work to.
You're right.
And you can have, there you go. Different types of railroads, different types of different companies, all competing on the same line. You can take something that's $7 if you don't feel like going that fast, or you can take something that's 50, 60, and heck, all the prices have gone a lot lower than the airlines, and the airlines don't even compete there anymore because it just doesn't make sense for them, because this is just the better way to get around.
You're right.
Where somehow that doesn't exist here in the United States.
I mean, it's a slight issue when you go from the standard gauge to the Iberian gauge, but they have specialty cars to deal with that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there you go. That's innovation. You imagine doing something like that in the United States. Forget it. Heck, when they tried running European style railroads, the same sort of gauge, so the same width of the wheels, they fit onto European high-speed rail. Fits on American railroad.
You right?
With American railroad, the lines in particular, on the Amtrak and Northeast Corridor, they were so messed up and busted that the trains couldn't run as fast, and that's kind of the problem that we still have today. We don't have that sort of innovative mindset anymore in this country. Or let's put it this way: that innovative mindset is put to the back burner. Because you have, again, all these activist companies. They want to make money. It's precision scheduled railroading is what matters more. And stockholder operating revenue, not innovation.
Dimitri, I'm gonna be on it. I will say that in our lifetime, we're probably going to be seeing a massive ban on PSR. There's probably going to be a ban in the future on PSR. That for sure.
But I
They
think
won't
it
ban
depends on
PSR. Sadly, they won't ban it, because if they were to ban it, it would have such a massive effect on the railroad industry.
Well,
It would almost shut down. What we have to do is we have to slowly begin outlawing PSR.
Yeah.
Slowly outlaw.
You have 2 minutes to go ahead and speak. Go ahead. And then we'll go to Star Force, and then we'll go over now, and then we'll...
Alright, well, I was going to touch on what you were saying earlier on the trucking industry thing. The reason everyone uses trucks is because it's cheaper than a train, where a train could sit in a yard, and it would take, and they want to get that load from one place to another ASAP. They want to have that as soon as possible. They don't want that. Now, if a load has to go from like New York to Denver, they'll put it on a train because that's more efficient. But if it's like Minneapolis to Kansas City, they're just gonna put on a truck and send it off.
Yeah.
And in Texas, there is this company, I think it's Aurora Trucking. They made autonomous trucks.
Oh.
No human.
Oh God.
Truck with no one inside of it, and it drove perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'd heard about it in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, that's been increasing more.
We are about to teach AI how to replace everyone.
Yeah, and
Wait till we start seeing driverless trains ran by AI.
Well, we've
that's already been happening.
That's been happening.
Technology to make driverless trains since the 1960s.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hang on. I'm sorry. Driverless trains since 1960s. You mean all they did was put the thing in full throttle, release the brake, and hop out?
Well, they've been able to make them start and stop, which is why we've had automated train systems, but they're mainly used in subways and
mining railroads. Let not.
They can watch it, but there's always a set of controls in the locomotive, and they'll always kind of get in and out. This truck literally went down the road with nobody inside of it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, let not forget about that railroad in Australia that you autonomous train to carry ore. Let not forget
I
that.
haven't even heard about that in a long time.
Yeah, that was back in 2018. Oh man, what was the company that did it?
Did that ever go through?
No, they still use it here
Yeah.
and there, but I mean, at least with train, when it comes to trains, doing AI, it's a lot easier. And again, like what Minor Tree said, that sort of technology has been around. In fact, you can go back even further. They've sort of had autonomous trains even at the turn of the century.
You're right.
Not used like it was just mechanically automated. So a train would go ahead and it would change gears. When it would slow down and get to stations, people would get off, people would get on, and it would speed up again on different gears. But that sort of technology has existed for quite a while. Even the Tokyo subways, there have been multiple times where the engineers have said that the trains can run automated and they can be. The only reason that they have people on there is A, to provide, again, part of the Japanese culture is to provide people a job, and B, to also have their safety reasons, because machines are going to fail, they're always going to fail.
Oh, they will.
We have to have somebody at the helm.
And
These trains can run themselves.
oh, Val, can you Val fix me a plate for lunch tomorrow?
They just let AI take the wheel.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the article so I can put that up quick. Ready to go ahead and see. Yeah, because this was quite recent. I'm trying to see if I can get the article. I don't remember the exact company that did it, but yeah, they had nobody within, if I remember correctly, nobody was in that. They just had somebody follow it, but
Yeah,
it completed an entire route all by itself.
Yeah, it was up in the northern area, Australia.
If you have the video, let me go ahead.
It's perfect for you to look at. It's a little short.
Yeah, but to put things into perspective, the Lockheed L-1011 was the first commercial airliner that was able to fly itself from takeoff to landing back in the 1970s.
But it was also the first plane to have that kill a ton of people in a crash.
Plane without a person in it.
Can you have autonomous airline? It's going to feel comfortable at all in it. Again, which is why you have pilots. They're mostly controlling the plane during takeoff and landing. But once they get up to cruising altitude, they just turn on autopilot and they're watching it here and there, making some fine adjustments. Again, I'm not a pilot over here. We do have an actual pilot to go ahead and say it. So let me get to Minor Tree to go ahead and explain it a little bit more.
Minor Tree, you can say it.
Basically, when it comes to flying a plane, you just have to control the thrust, the ailerons, the elevators, and the rudder, which we already know about. And with the invention of the GPS systems, the systems are more accurate than ever. And
you're right.
Basically, almost every single airliner is designed to basically fly without a pilot. So in the case of an emergency and both pilots go down, you can technically put it on autopilot and it'll automatically land. Whether it'll be soft or not is another question entirely, but technically you technically can fly it without any pilot involved. It just does not go well with the public at large.
He right about that.
Alrighty, I'm doing really bad with the 2 minutes here, guys. So let's go ahead and move forward. Let's get to Renell. Let's get to Brightline, Star Force, and then Darius, and then we'll leave it open. All right, Renell, go ahead if you're there.
Fair enough.
Renell, going once.
Hear me?
Renell Reed, you're on deck to go ahead and speak.
Go get yourself some chicken.
Oh, I will in a few minutes after the live stream.
Twice. Join second, David, and so, okay. Brightline fan, go ahead. You got to.
All right. Basically, when in there are a bunch of powder who don't know, or honestly, they do know what they're doing, but they're evil, actually.
Oh yeah.
It's the bone situation all over again. It's the bone situation all over again. They don't know how PSR harms the railroads. They don't know what PSR does. They only think about PSR making money. That's what they do.
Yeah, and the other thing is, according to most industry experts, they don't even understand how most of the railroads, they just say, okay, if the CEO is not making enough money for us, we change to other CEO. One Pokemon is not working, get them out, put other Pokemon in.
Yep, you're right.
I don't think they care about safety. They care about profits. They care about profits. Same as the Boeing company. Remember the Boeing 737 MAX that actually crashed twice?
Oh yeah.
It crashed twice within like 3 months of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And that made everybody question Boeing, and I still don't trust Boeing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know.
You have to go ahead and say, if you happen to blow the whistle on them, Hillary Clinton comes to visit you.
Exactly. More than just that, they're gonna come. You'll probably go to heaven a little bit earlier than you were hoping.
Too bad.
Yeah. Frontline fan, anything else you wanted to add?
Exactly. Also, about that, that's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen with CSX and the Class 1s as well. Remember the East Palestine disaster? They want that to happen.
Oh yeah, I think another one far worse is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that sort of stuff, and that's the true thing. When it comes to now, what we're seeing, these sort of controlled demolitions of companies, like what happened to Bud Light. They went ahead and did whatever they did with Bud Light, take them having that whatever thing, go ahead and promote Bud Light.
Be right back, everyone.
What happened? Oh, it was a sale for Bud Light. If you were an institutional investor, knowing what was going to happen, and there was a lot of activity right before that announcement that people did sell, a lot of institutional investors did sell their stock, rebuy it at the bottom, and now, where's Bud Light right now? They're doing a heck of a lot better right now. Okay? Same thing with the whole rest of the companies whenever they have this sort of stuff. Jaguar, the same thing is probably going to happen. Okay? And we've been seeing this more and more often. Norfolk Southern, look at their stock. Went down during East Palestine, it went back up. That was something that probably was going to happen or anything like that, but we see this over and over again where you just, again, they're just making money by just continuing to enshitten the economy. There's certainly no more vulgar way to say that, but that's just what it is.
We call that enshittification.
Yep.
That's
Well, that's a technical term.
exactly.
Yep.
Oh man.
There you go. Wow. So actually, it's a real term. Okay. All right. Star Force 97. Go ahead. You got the 2 minutes.
Alright, first we have the CPKC merger, which is basically running north to south, and now you're going to have an east-west merger between UP and NS. And I just hope it stays that way, because we do not need to have CSX and the NSF merge and try to work our way towards, because you know the way things are going. It's going to be UP and BNSF, and that as being the only 2 Class 1 railroads, and we do not need another Conrail situation.
Okay, we're heading into that now, because I mean this is worse than Conrail. This is like Conrail time. Probably 20.
We're gonna get another Conrail. I hate to say it, we're getting another Conrail.
Yeah, but the thing is, to be 100% privatized and not government.
Apologies, side rail over here. Yeah, identification is an actual term. And this is exactly what we're talking about. Initially, said they degrade those offerings to better serve business customers. So just advertisers finally degrade their services to use of business customers to maximize profits for shareholders. Yeah, this is the enshittification. Real term, YouTube. Real term, everybody. Enshittification of the railroads. This is what we're seeing in real time.
Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry.
David.
I had to do something.
Alright, Star. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Star Force, anything else you wanted to add into the conversation?
Yeah, but I also, and at the same time, like, you know how Chicago's having the whole ice thing happening now? I feel like it's simple. The more that I look into it, I feel like the more it's like, you know how they're just installing like unarmed security and stuff like that on trains. It kind of feels like that, but more on a citywide scale than just the public transportation. And then when you have them there, and then like they're not doing much, and then they're being intimidated and everything. I just feel bad for the people on ICE who are having to deal with that. So I mean, the purpose of them is to actually like get the illegals out of the cities and stuff like that. And you know, I've been telling people I'm just hoping that the crime is going to go down because it is really crime ready. So
yeah, no, it's bad. And then people going ahead and saying, oh no, Chicago's. No, it's not. I mean, even when I was there, I mean, look, Chicago is honestly probably the most beautiful city in the United States, bar none. Just architecturally, there's no other city that compares to Chicago.
True.
So even New York, and sorry, I love New York, and I've gone to New York. New York doesn't hold a candle architecturally to Chicago. Okay, it's a wonderful, beautiful city. The problem is that, you know, the weekend that I was there, Streeterville got completely run over by like 300 youths that went ahead all over the place. Now that's not something that happens in a normal city. That's not something that happens in actual regular, you know, normal places.
It sounds like some youth
I can't stop to think of the song Ice, Ice, Baby.
Well, it sounds like, well, the easy way of solving it is to get those youths together, and they're going to help the community by doing a few hundred hours of community service.
There you go. Alrighty, last but not least, Darius, go ahead. You got your 2 minutes, man. Darius, there you go. Alrighty, go ahead.
Alright, here I am. Okay. Alright, what was I going to say? Oh, so... Alright.